technical exam, I'll be demonstrating a trach dressing change, as well as suctioning, as well as an in-ear cannula change. So first I'm just going to do my, hand hygiene, and I'm just going to check the physician's orders, which is right here. So for this person, they're having a trach care 4 hours as needed. 4 hours and as needed, but they're going to be on 40% humidification via the cold pot, okay? And it's for Wendy Holmes, Finn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we're going to put this away. We're just going to make sure that we check for armband when we head in there. So we have our gloves. We also have our kit, our normal saline, the inner cannula itself, as well as Q-tips, as well as normal saline. So we're going to use that for the nursing change. So we're just going to head into the room. So we're going to knock and say, "Hi Wendy, my name is Nick. I'll be your student nurse today doing my safety check while I'm here." So I'm just gonna raise the bed so it's about my waist height. And then I'm just also going to raise her head a bit, because for trach, you need to have it to be semi-fowler. That is a safety issue if it's not, because for trachs, they need to be higher up. So we're just going to ask her, Wendy, can you tell me your name? Okay, can you tell me your last name? So she says Wendy Holmes, which is what is here on a wristband. And can you tell me how old you are? And she says she's 35. So she understands who she tells me who she is, and that's correct. So this is the right patient. I'm just gonna let her know, we're gonna do a trach dressing change for you. So do you understand what that involves? So we're just gonna have the suction, the secretions in your trach, as well as we're just going to change the little tube that goes inside the trach here. So it's a little green tube, okay? So then we're also going to do a little dressing change for that sponge around your neck, okay? So she understands, she's consented, so we're just going to do our second check. So we're going to take a look at the suction. So the suction is here. All right. We also going to take the oxygen. So we're taking it at 40. So you see it's 40, and that means it's going to go all the way to 10. So unfortunately, the oxygen, the meter doesn't go up that high. Unfortunately, even at full. So yeah, even at full, it's not going to go up all the way 10. But in a real scenario, it will be 10 liters per minute, and 40. And the copot is here, and it's going all the way. It's connected to her. So that's good. We also have our normal saline. We have our extra intercalated trach tube, as well as we have the yonker that's here. We also have the trach ties, as well as the dilators. And in this scenario with the trach, you would wear a mask, because with trachs, there's a lot of sputum that comes out, and as well as you don't want to introduce your own infection, your own bacteria with breathing, because you'll be so close to the trach when you're changing it. But for the purpose of the demo, we won't be wearing a mask, but you would do that. So that's good. So we have all this, and then we're just going to check the suction on the trach itself. So in this case, there's the yonker here. So we'll just take this off, because we don't need this. But before we do that, we're just going to do some hand hygiene and put on some gloves. Okay. Wait. Okay, yep. So I've done hand hygiene before when I entered the room, so it's okay. So we're just going to take a look at this, and we're just going to take this off, and we're going to take a peek at the gauge here. So what we're going to look at is that it goes up between 80 to 120. So it goes up to 100, which is good. So we're just going to do. And prior to this, I'm going to ask her, does she need any oral suctioning with the yonker? And I would say, I would do that around the mouth, right? And then I would place it in the normal saline to clear it out and make sure there's nothing in here. So then I could take this off here, right? Okay. And I would grab one of these suction catheters. So she's a 10 French, so it's 10 French 21, so it's good. So we're just gonna grab so making sure, also we're just gonna make sure we crank up the oxygen to 10 or up to the max, so that when we take a pulse oximetry, we're going to make sure that she's getting 100% oxygen, as well as I'm going to ask her to take 2 deep breaths. So she's taking 2 deep breaths. It's good. So we're just going to remove this really quick. Okay.
I will get new supplies.
So and we're just going to move the gown
My
down.
nurse to get me a new.
Okay. And then we're just going to put this
Still in the
on,
package,
like
it
so.
hasn't opened yet,
And then we're going to maintain the sterility
so I did hand
of this
hygiene.
tube.
I'm gonna open my.
Yeah, I'll pick up that
I'm
garbage
making
later,
sure
but
that I
maintain the
put
food
in
for
the
10 to
1 inch
15. So
border.
we're going to take it about here, and then we're just going to insert. So, but we're not going to suction. We're just going to insert slowly into this cannula. There we go. So we're inserting, and we're just going to make sure that we don't go all the way down. So right here, I'm feeling a bit of resistance. So I've reached the bifurcation. So then now I'm going to actually suction intermittently. So by pressing my thumb up and down. So I'm going to go like this. No more than 15 seconds. So then I've already suctioned her. All right. So then I would put this in my glove and wrap it up. Take this off, and then I would clear this with normal saline. Okay, so then that way it's still working, and in an emergency we can use it. So then I would just take off my glove.
We're gonna open our drain sponges.
Take off my gloves, and then put this back in the here.
We're gonna open our gelatin as well.
That's good.
Still
Okay.
doing there. I'm still doing okay, Mr. Barker.
And then I will just throw this out, and because I bent down to grab something, I'm going to perform hand hygiene, but my hands are not visibly soiled, so it's okay. And just making sure that the dilator is in there as well. So good. So she's good. I'm gonna just put this back here, just to make sure she's oxygenated again, because we did remove some. So we're just going to do that. So she's getting oxygenated while I'm going to now prepare to put on some gloves to remove the inner cannula. So, okay, in this scenario, so I would, okay. So this is like a new glove. In a sense, I would take the step to do hand hygiene again, and I would put this is now a new clean pair of gloves.
Christina or Danielle.
So I have my pair of gloves, and I'm gonna grab the inner cannula. So it is a 7, and since she's a 10, it's 7. So it's gonna be. Wait, hold on. Wait, it's so it's gonna be. So it's gonna be.
So I've removed the old dressing.
So it's gonna be.
Good. The skin looks clean and there's no redness or swelling.
So we're just gonna add the inner cannula now. So making sure not to touch the outside ring. So we're just going to remove this one. Okay. Okay, so in this scenario, this would be incorrect, because I would need to remove it first and then put the thing in. So in this scenario, this would be a new packaging. And this would be clean gloves. So then I would just remove this here, right? And I would discard this into the garbage. And then I would grab a new inner cannula from the box here. So this is a new one. And then I would get this one. So I'm only touching the ring and the outside rim of the outer portion of the cannula before not touching it there. So I'm gonna try and insert it. Wait. Okay. So this would be incorrect again because I would have to remove my gloves and do hand hygiene again. So hand hygiene, I get a new one from, I'll get a new trach. So I'll just have my buddy nurse go and grab that for me. And then I will just grab so then she'll come and she'll give me a new cannula. And then this is a new one because it's sealed. And I'll put on a new pair of gloves. Okay. So I have my cannula. So I'm moving it. So this is new. These are new gloves. I did hand hygiene, so it's okay. So I'm just going to insert, not touching the inside. So there, I've got a new cannula in. Okay, I'm going to put this on because now I'm going to change my gloves.
So again, site looks great.
Do hand hygiene. Okay, and then I'm going to put on a new pair of gloves. Before.
So I put this in my 1-inch
So I'm
order.
just going to put this here. This is now garbage. So I'm just going to now open my kit.
I asked my buddy nurse and then put it, make sure that it's not my 1-inch order. That make sure that it's in the label.
Here. So making sure my 1-inch border is here. Okay. Alright, and then just taking the edge here, lifting it up very carefully. And I'm just going to grab the tweezers underneath. There we go. And then just making sure my drape stays in place. So I'm now just going to take out all my equipment.
So I've done that, now I'm going to be able to put my jelly.
So here, so it's still within the 1-inch border, so it's okay. I'm going to now take this out. And I'll just pass this and then just put it over here. Place this over here. And tip to tip. Okay, and then I will just now add my water. Making sure it's a new one so I don't have to lip it. Alright, there's no spillage, so it's okay. Alright, and I will just throw this out, do hand hygiene again, and then I will just take this and maneuver it so that I'm close to my patient. Okay. Okay. So now I'm just going to take this off, and now I'm just going to now do hand hygiene again.
I cleaned the sides of the drink sponge.
And I'm just going to remove the dressing with this, so then that way I don't have to remove. There we go. There. Okay, so now I'm just going to assess the stoma. I'm assessing the stoma as well as also for Wendy. She doesn't have spinal injury, so I'm just gonna remove the pillow a bit, and so that there's a little bit more space. I'm gonna note how much drainage on the thing and notice the condition of the stoma. So when I document, so I'll just throw this out here. So, and then I'll just open this up really quick so I can put all my other. Okay. Okay. So at this point, I'm now just going to put on hand hygiene. I'm just going to now grab this, put this glove on, and then we're just going to start cleaning. steps here. So we're just gonna clean underneath here. So like this, right? And then I would chuck this out, and then I would take this one, and I would clean around here, right? And so that's clean. So that's done. And then I would just take my tweezers.
It's good. This one was so close. I mean, I didn't mention that.
So, right? And I would just clean underneath here. Here. So that's done here.
It's hard to see the video. I could bring my
So now we just so I can get underneath here. So that's good. So it's clean. It's been cleansed. And then I would just dry it around this site.
It would lay flatter preferably,
Oh,
but sometimes
okay.
it
So
makes
this is now wet. So I would just clean it underneath, dry it underneath here.
just so I can tense the bottom portion of the
And then I would just
insert to ensure this is a fully
clean it underneath, dry it underneath here. So that's good. Okay. And then I would just dry it. So I'm gonna dry it here. So that's dried there, and I will just dry it underneath here, which is good. So I dried it, so that's good. So then I'll take off my gloves. Alrighty. And then, Alona, can you just grab me more gloves, please? Just one pair.
ensure that he's doing okay. Everything is still set up exactly how it was when I came in.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so then here, I will just put on gloves because I've already done hand hygiene.
Ensure he remains
And then,
$70 though, because that's important. And so running.
and then I will just take my string. Okay. Okay, so in the, I will just get a new one. So I would just get one from one of my trays here, not turning my back to my tray.
So, yeah, and then we're finished.
Cool. And I would just put this here. Okay, and because I can touch the edges, but I can't touch the inner stoma, the U here. So I'll just push it underneath here, and then make sure the site. So I'll just push it underneath here, making sure I don't touch the U of the where the dressing touches the. So I have this. So now it's okay, and I'll put back the oxygen, and then I'll put it back down to 240, and that's on 10, so it's on 10, so that's good. And I'll just document that the patient tolerated it well. I would also just make sure that they're not in any distress. I'll put them in the lowest position of the bed, so all the way down to the ground. Okay, and then I would just make sure that, what's it called? Make sure they're in semi-fowler, and make sure all the equipment and throw out any of the garbage that's here, as well as document my my assessment. Good.